All right, going live. Don't know if anybody's gonna get on. Kind of a last minute thing. Just kind of popped on. So I gotta see if my son's working. It's working. Something wrong with it. Laggy. Yeah. I guess next week we're gonna do something with xTool and do more of the new things that are coming out in the new update. So that will be next Thursday. Just figured I'd hop on the day and oh, of course it's the next tool line today. That's not really pushing anything there. Now I'm to look and see. Because like I said, we're just gonna look over some stuff. People got questions, stuff like that. Fortunately, nobody hanging out with me right now. But hey, we'll stick around, see what pops in. Maybe I'll watch X Tools live. I don't know. I don't know if they believe that or not. You guys can't hear me. I'm just used to it's been a minute. It changed a bunch of stuff on me, so I'm getting used to this again. So there's Harvey. What's up, buddy? You can. Yes, I got them all over my shoulders now. I've done a whole reshop layout for like the fifth time. So hopefully, I think you can see them all now. So we got all the F series over here, got P's series here, S one's over there, and we do have a metal fab over there. So I'm not doing too bad. I'm definitely glad we have nothing going on this weekend. So, but yeah, so we'll have a couple more people hop in, kind of go with fun things we got going on. Had a whole busy what the hell month are we in? April. April was very busy for us. So, like I said, if you guys got questions about xTool Studio, put them in the chat. We'll go over them. Pull up a studio here in a second and kind of just go through some stuff, some boxes. I've been doing a lot of stuff with the boxes lately, so trying to mess with my video here. Like I said, YouTube has done some updates, so I'm just trying to get used to what they got going on here now. I don't know what to do. Harvey, do I look like I'm like freezing every once in a while? I'm just curious. I got new internet too, so I'm trying to figure out if I'm freezing or not. So, mm, all right, that's good enough. I didn't know I still had a live night. I swore I checked, and they didn't say they had a live, but it looks like they have a live tonight. It says xTool is live, so everybody's hanging out, trying to get free stuff because I don't have nothing to give away tonight. Just here to help people. So, other than that, I guess Harvey, you're a mental guy. So, what kind of questions you got for me? I'm gonna work on some boxes. We'll go to share the screen here in a second. I don't remember where it's at now. I don't know where to zoom it. Why did they ask me which screen I want to share? I don't want to share that screen. Man, these things it's been a minute since I've done live because a lot of things have changed and it's kind of bugging me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Again, sorry guys. It has been probably 2 months since we've done live. So, like I said, I'm sure some people are hanging out. I'm trying to figure out why this is not letting me pick my screens. That's the one I need. That's better. I'm not sure that's there we go. So I haven't done the update yet. We're gonna talk more about the update next week. So that's where the next week's gonna be about the update stuff. We're gonna wait off a week. I do recommend the update. I know I've seen some people say they've had some issues, but there's always those people that say they have issues. I have used it on all my machines and I've not had an issue with the update. So I do dive into that update. There's a lot of cool things in there. Again, we'll go over those next week. So uh, right now we're gonna go over again. You guys got questions? Please, I'm gonna type it in here if you have a question. If you have questions, we no, I do not have the new printer. I would love to have the new printer, but I do not have the new printer. Eventually, it will be probably in here. Well, it won't be in here. The printer will probably be in the house. No UV. Not not even on the list. I keep signing up, so I keep begging, but it's not happening. Mm, probably not yet. You won't be able to do anything with what you can do because they don't want to obviously give that stuff out yet. So obviously there'll be an update eventually when the UV printer is released, and then that will give you the access. That's how they did the metal fab. That's how they did the P3. So, like now we can actually hop in. Obviously, you can go to these other, whole list of things, machines, but obviously it's not going to be on my list because it's not available. We will go to device library. Let's look. Yeah, it's not on device library, so it'll be in that update more than likely whenever the next. And this is actually this is 1.6, so I am updated on this computer, so it's not on this one. But not a problem. What kind of questions do you have? So that part of the software, are you just doing UV? What do you got for laser? I'm gonna probably answer you on the screen, not necessarily in the chat, just to let you know, because I can do that since we've only got a few people on. So, well, what are you looking to get besides the UV? So again, that's where a lot of people have the questions. They want to get a laser, but they don't know what they want to get. Uh, the best thing I would say is, kind of know what you're looking to get into to start with. Because again, you got different sizes, different beds, different, do you want to build the big stuff? Do you just want to engrave? Do you want to do shows? Uh, that's kind of where I always tell people to get into that stuff. Do you mean the F2 Ultra? That'd be the one that does metal. It is great for metal, all kinds of stuff. You can do slides, coins, stuff like that. So the P3 can cut clear acrylic. All your P2, P3s can do all acrylics, and you can do almost up to half inch, almost 3/4 inch thick too. So I've done 5/8 thick. I haven't done more than that, but nailed with a P2. So, but as we can go software wise, This is the software. If you haven't seen the software, you can actually download this. You can download the software and play with the software. It just won't be in there. So you can go to the website, download the software, and play with it. Just let you know. So yes, I don't use Vector Witch. It's not bad. I looked into it a little bit. I mean, again, you're it's like every other thing. You're getting a streaming service, another service to do stuff that you don't need to do. Uh, I gotta come up with a new picture. Harvey, we need a new picture. My poor puppies have been all over the internet. Let's see if we can find a new picture. I don't want to do that because he'll get mad at me if I put his face on online. And I'll do my mug. This is always out there myself. So yeah, you can do regular photos. I mean, I come in, I do a photo, whatever you want to do it in. I do like doing them on coasters, slate. I like the black and contrast. I think that looks the best. Um, but you can still do this on a, wood. You have your edit button, and then again, your adjustments. This is the one that people miss because it's so small. If you go into adjustments, you can go right to grayscale. I always tell people to go to grayscale, even when you bring other things in, and then you can actually, adjust your sliders. You can brighten up. Obviously, I wouldn't go that bright, but want to darken it. Actually, darken a little bit. So you can do quite a bit with this stuff. There's an invert. I did look, I put a hotkey there though. So like if I'm gonna do this on a business card or a coaster, I want to invert it. So it's gonna look like a negative. So everything that's black is what's gonna get engraved. So obviously this will stay black because that's what the thing is. When you engrave on a coaster or a business card, it turns white. So the darker it is, the lighter it is. So it's a hard thing to remember to flip that kind of stuff. Uh, Again, I only really turn up. I turn this one up to 15 usually. No, I don't know if this is sharing me on the screen. I just thought about that. It's not putting me on the screen. See, they changed all kinds of stuff in here, and it's kind of bugging me. You just put my little mug on the corner of the picture. I don't see myself. Unless I'm just, oh, there I am. All right. I didn't know. I didn't scroll up far enough. Sorry, guys. I do like doing wood photos also. Like I said, I don't do I used to use Imager. I don't use Imager. I do everything inside Studio. Uh, Very rarely. I mean, the only time, even then, I don't want to say I don't do that anymore because you have the enhanced features and stuff. So turn myself not so creepy. But these are the only two features I play with when I do my settings for almost anything. Is those. Yes, this is 1.6.6, but these features are in 1.5. The only new one they did add is this opaque. Oh man, I can't say the word. I don't know if it's opacity. Yeah, you know what it is. Those are what I'm using. They are. I do totally agree with that. You get so much detail on when people complain about detail on some stuff, the ultra UV, way more detail by far. So uh, adjustments, and then obviously you have all these other things here you can do. This is the only one I usually use when I do photos. I can use this one. So this one here is actually kind of cool. In this case, it's kind of silly, but look, if I cropped it, I might be able to show you what I'm talking about. So there were some photos I did for Christmas, and I needed the photo to be a little bit bigger to fit in the circle I wanted to fit in, and that's where this expand. It lets you fill out your image, which I think is really cool. Uh, and then the enhance is pretty good. I still think the AI, the cutout again, unfortunately, you do have to pay for it. And I wish this wouldn't like revert back to the original. It does bug me, it does that too, but it is. See if it does it. So I feel like the background removal on this is probably one of the better ones I've ever seen. If for like 6 cents is kind of the math you figure it out. It does cost you. You do have to buy credits, but they're what, $20, get you 2,000 credits. I mean, it's crazy. So I do, and that's almost most of the AI stuff is going to charge you 6 to 8 credits. Uh, so but stuff like that. The photo enhance. If you have a real grainy photo, this works sometimes well. I'm not gonna lie, it does do some AI stuff. So, uh, like I said, most of them are around six credits is what it costs you. Yeah, 6 to 8, and then it goes like I said, $20, you get 2,000, and you can do some stuff for free. So like a Tom, you guys don't know what a Tom is? It's the project page. So this page here, you actually go to the home screen. There is a Tom is on explore here. Again, they're still on the whole another website. This is like a part of it. You can actually get into a Tom, and this is where these get posted from. These are all free files you can go in and play with. Again, for people that are new, this is very handy. It helps you out, gets you used to stuff. You do gotta be careful. I think they're gonna try to change this filter. I don't know why they don't have it per machine. That would make life a lot easier to give me that. It's like the only one they don't have in here. So, but I think if you go to the Atom site, I think I'm saying that right. Someone will give me crap about it later. So, let me see, Phil. My mom need that to read right now. Go to top. Top. So this is xTool's file server, basically. If you go in here, you make an account and you upload folders, you upload stuff, you answer people's questions in here. You can get no, the credits do not that I know they don't expire. I know people that has 10,000 of them, so they're not like a monthly thing. So, but I lost my mouse. I lost my mouse. There it is. So like right here, I'm in here. It's been a minute since I've been in here, but no, this is again, you can upload photos here. You get credits this way, then you don't have to pay for them. So there's ways to get credits for doing it without actually being, you know, paying for them if you don't want to. So just an option. This one. So again, this is a great thing. Some cool files. I've been doing a lot of the stuff with the crystal stuff, um, with the UV. So just a nice tool to have. Keep it in my mug. And also for people that are new, these applications they've added, so these generators, these things are amazing, honestly. It makes your guys' life so much easier, like display cases. I mean, it tells you how to do the stuff right off the bat. And that's what, like I said, there's boxes, there's cutting boards, these flower petals. I mean, there's all these things you can do, and I'll do one here in a second. Box generator. What should we do? Nothing. Nobody. Good time, man. Let's do it later. Let's do this one. So what's nice about these things is they're, I think these are internet based, so obviously they're going to a loading page because what you get with these things, obviously, is there's like different variations you can have. The cool thing is you can actually look at them in a 3D realm. You can tell how big, how high you want them. I'm an inch guy, so I want to go 12 inches by 8 inches. And this is where, like I said, your internet probably needs to be halfway decent. It looks like these are going to be, right now you can export one for free, but it might take coins, just then 6 credits afterwards. So, but no, I mean this stuff's kind of cool. So you can do this. You can go. I mean, you can pick different styles. So there's one, just these three. So let's just give you wood styles, patterns. That's where they're only giving you one. Usually they give you like different pattern styles, um, just materials besides. It lets you do the kerf offset, the material size. Something you had quarter-inch, when you quarter-inch, it'll change that. It'll do the math for you automatically. So there's a lot of cool features, especially, I mean, again, for the people that are coming in, the stuff will let you get you going with your laser a lot faster, I feel, than what it did when we got into this stuff. And even people before me that did stuff even harder. So it was easy at the time, but now it's even easier. So, you change the panels, what you want, you know, let's see what I got at 12 right now. I want 6. See if it'll let me do 6. But again, if you guys got any questions about it, it looks kind of weird. Definitely want 6. You got questions about anything, I can, any machine, ask. We can do whatever you're looking for. If you got questions about software itself, how to cut something out, how to make circles. I mean, like you said, there's no dumb questions. Everybody's got to start somewhere. That's the way I look at it. So, I mean, this is kind of weird. It does, like, if you don't want these to have the cutouts in it, like that's why they let you to turn this off, and then we can go and use the other file. So we'll export this. Not a problem. We'll do this again next week. So we'll go more thoroughly over the new update with the 1.6. There'll probably be some giveaways next week. So, I'm supposed to export. Why didn't I export? Input gas. All these other things I want to show you. Yeah. See if it does it. So this is kind of cool. It does do that flat layout. That's what I'm going to show you. So it'll do a flat layout so you can see how it's going to lay it all out. So it gives you all the pieces broke down, ready to assemble. And that's where, like I said, I turned off that pattern. So now I can go over here. You want to go to elements. Again, another whole library of stuff you can do, different things. Maybe you want to do. Which pattern looks good, guys? Let's do. Sure, let's do that. Grid array. So get the efficiency tools. Make sure I get that. Grid array. 1. Cost 3. And I can just copy and paste these also. I don't have to do it this way. I'm gonna add one more. Change this to 0. Now it does group them. Again, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, grouping does not change the photo. Not sure which one that is, Harvey. So we like it there. We know it's in the center. Again, now I just copy and paste. But probably shouldn't have done this yet for one reason. We'll see what happens. This is where, like I said, some of the features. So like this is grouped. These are grouped. Group things don't like doing stuff together. So if you like have this group, have this group, and you try to put these together, let's see what kind of commotion this creates. Because it's going to. Or it's not. It's gonna make me look stupid. So see, it deleted everything. And that's obviously not what we wanted for sure. And that's where, like I said, people run into the problems. Grouping stuff when you're trying to like union and subtract and do edits, it's not a good thing to have. You want everything to be ungrouped. These need to be ungrouped. Now, what I would do is actually grab these because they're all separate. So I'm just holding the shift down, selecting all these. Sorry guys, I got a bar in my way. It's fucking hell on me. Again, there's two different things you can do. You can just do union, or you can do create compound vector. In this case, there is a time and a place to use one or the other. Uh, so we can use create compound vector. You can hurt nothing. It's when you have things that are overlapping. So like, here, I'll do a quick example. That still stay. Because now if I go in and I release this, it should break it up. So each square now is, which again can be a pain in the butt. So that's why it is a full block. You might want to change the layout of it. And we're just kind of walking through stuff. So people are hopping on and looking around, ask a question. If you got something you're looking for a direction, can help you out. We can step off this. We're just kind of walking through some stuff, how to do things. So this is an option. Again, I can just box select. And I know people get frustrated with that box select. You just got to make sure you're outside. Again, I'm just hitting create compound vector again. Now, see if I have a copy of this. I hit paste. Do it again. I do rotate. Should have just typed it in. This is where this thing gets funky. It'll snap, but it doesn't like all the time. So if you have these two kind of overlapping, you know, I deliberately want to make them like funky overlap, kind of like that. So you can see how there's like white spots in there. If I do this as a create a compound vector, see how it took the white sections out of there? That's where you got to be careful on how you use this feature, because when a solid is overlapping a solid, it's a weird concept. It's more for when there's space. You can't do it when there's things overlapping each other. Because now if I go back, again, it's gonna still look funny, but if I do both of these and I do union, just union, now it's is what it is. It's just it doesn't give you those. It just puts those sections together. So now if I go score, a couple weird lines in there, but it literally unions the things together. So that's the difference between those two. That's why sometimes you gotta be careful on when you use the one command. So these, these. It is weird though, because I did that. So I don't know if I carry this name. Release. Mm, still left a line. I'm just curious because it's still leaving that line in there, which is weird. Swing the windows. See this? Interesting. That will show up on your guys' design. When you go to cut these out, it will run that line. So that was where you can do edit compound vector. If you select a vector and you double click on it, edit the vector. It's fine. This is probably the only time that I would say use the scissor tool is in this scenario. You can use it there. Another quick thing to do, the edit tool. Another quick way to do it is really just delete these nodes. This was delete nodes. Delete the nodes. Just the nodes. Stupid. This will prove this works out or not. For some reason, there was still a gap in there, and I don't know why. 'Cause I swear we set it to 0. So yeah, this is every time I tell you to just trim those out. Other ways to do it. Make sure they're overlapping. But again, you can leave it like this. I mean, obviously, you want to engrave it, you can engrave it. Try and cut it out. You can leave it the way it is, just so you have that ability, or you can do subtract and then let it move around on you. See, something was union again. Not too up too far. Oops. And you can actually have a group inside of a group. I found that out yesterday. I was messing with a file and it had a group inside of a group inside of a group inside of a group. So you got to watch that too. Then it's subtract. You don't know how it did, what it's doing. I always do this just to make sure. And again, see, I can see those thin lines are still in there. So they will be noticeable. It will probably burn off and not be there, but and you probably won't notice it. You never know. So that's how you get different shapes in this one. So again, if anybody's got questions, Harvey, I do not know what software you're talking about. Tom is the one I'm thinking of. That's their one that can give you points and all that stuff that we just went over a little bit ago. So uh, see this. So they have some cool box designs here on the sides. So there's different ones. This has got a slide top. The only I don't think they have in here is a hinge top one. So you really need to get a hinge top one. There's some cool design with hinges. I do like this design, but some math involved. Oh, again, if you guys got questions at all, you're more than welcome to hop on here, just ask me away. I'm just kind of working through some things. I probably should be engraving some stuff. Most of my stuff I can't show them on the screen just because it's personal stuff. That's nothing other than that. But I want to do. Let's see this one. Hmm. I like these styles, but like I said, there's a box that I want. I don't see it. Because the way to make hinges is kind of cool. So that's what I'm looking for. It's basically what you end up doing. Let's see if I can do this real quick. So I've done this on a couple other boxes. So we're making a small size box. You want to do? Let's do a 2 by 3. She unlock it. 4 by 3. And then what we did, do a 10 circle square. So I'm just hitting R on my keyboard. I'll let you do. Yeah, Harvey, you have to let me know. Because I don't think there's anything new with the update. Hello, Hannah. Again, if you guys got any questions, you're more than welcome to post them, go over them. Yeah, I do some 1/4 inch. Like I said, right now we're just kind of going over a box. So 8. Making a lid, and this is kind of cool, and I'll show you guys how the. So these things will snap to size, just like you guys know. So I'm just adding these little corner pieces on the side of this thing, because what this does is it lets you kind of have a live edge. Live edge. I don't know what to call it. You'll kind of get it here. It's hard to show you in 2D. That's the only sucky thing. So I'm just selecting everything. We're just going to go union. Don't want that one piece like that. So this is kind of the lid. And a piece in front. So side view. And this is where, like I said, I would use probably partially some of the box feature. Okay, that's a good question. So for an F2, I think it's on. We're going over there real quick since I don't know if anybody's really intrigued in my box making skills here. Since we have a question, can always go back to the box. We switch machines. F2 switches. Beam switched. So this is where, again, if you have an F2 and you don't have a mark on your board, you bet you're not trying hard enough. So then everybody know that. Okay. So the M1 does not, the M1 Ultra can print on wood, but you do got to remember it is a printer cartridge printing on wood. So it will bleed. Just to let you know. So for the settings, again, you can do any shape. You don't have to do any shape. They do have a nice thing over here that's, color engraved settings. So, and then they have you can actually click your test grid to start. So they give you a kind of adjust, at least start with, uh, and then you can pick between your MOPA, which I would say suggest your MOPA. So it's that's basically what you got to start with. I mean, because the thing with color engraving, it's a great feature. It is very time consuming. So it does take a long time to an extent. Obviously, if you're doing small pendants, you can get it to work halfway decent. But obviously, the bigger stuff. I mean, there's a picture of the Van Gogh. It's only like a 4x4. Last thing I think I heard, that took like 4 hours. So it takes time to do the color stuff. Like I said, it's a great feature. It's a great idea. Uh, I do not have a color grid laying around. I've not really dove into that. But I know even the UV, the F2 UV will do the same thing. You can get a nice color array of colors out there. So, but it's just a starting point. You just get there, you know. Sorry, guys. So, but I do recommend is you find kind of start here small, get what you're looking for, find the colors you're looking for, and then break those down because it is literally going to be. I mean, you can see these jumps are from 705 to 375. You need to be with like 705, 706. We'll go 7,500. Like five. It's a small jump will change that color drastically. So that is the problem with finding the color on stuff is just getting that narrowed down, like you said, to a good starting point. Uh, I can leave a chat in the message and let you know kind of a decent starting point. So I know there's a gentleman on here actually. It's Jacob did a YouTube for the F2 Ultra on YouTube through xTool. It's a good place to go check his stuff out. He's got a good test grid on there that you can kind of go through and follow. So all of them. I mean, it depends on what kind of pictures you're looking to do, Kim. I mean, it's honestly, it's if we're doing pictures on, I know everyone wants to do them on wood. I mean, actually, I think a picture would be kind of cool on an acrylic because I love doing black acrylic photos. I mean, I don't know if Harvey can vouch for me. I think I've showed him some of ours, but I like doing that kind of stuff on that. Again, it depends on what kind of, if you're doing it for kids or adults or what, obviously. So there's obviously the tools to change it to more of a line drawing kind of thing, more of a kiddie cartoonish. And even that, I mean, I hate to say this, but ChatGPT does some really cool stuff. I mean, you see the free chats, the free AI stuff that's out there. Even here, they have the AI. I have not dove deep into this one just because I have one I know how to use it. So, but to have an actual starting point, I'm gonna jump around. Sorry, uh, Hannah, is it? I mean, really, you got to just start, put something down, and see where it goes because every machine's going to be a little bit different. But that's the nice thing about the Mopos, the F2 Ultra, the Mopo, it stays consistent with that machine. So, and that's where, like I said, everybody says, these other machines can do color. Yes, they can. Even the F2 can do color to an extent. It's a lot smaller range. The Ultra will let you do a lot more range of colors. So again, because what it's doing is, let's break this down. Just accept this for a second. Let's see something. So again, it does group it. You can ungroup this and kind of see what the stats are doing. So they're doing them all at 200, and that's where even the pulse width will change your stuff. So, and that's where, like I said, I know that blue is usually in the lower end of the spectrum, so it's probably going to be closer in this realm. Your 50s, I would say probably between 7,500. Again, it really it's hard to like narrow down what you want to have because we'll talk about that here in a second, Kim. Uh, but it's because the pulse widths will change your colors on top of that. So I mean, if I turn this pulse width up to you know 300, I'm gonna get a different color potentially than I would have got with 200. So there's things you can get different colors with different pulse width, different frequencies. That's the cool thing about this machine is you can go and play with it. I mean, again, it's a lot of testing, but there's an infinite amount of stuff you could technically dig into and dive into depth wise, frequency wise, pulse, lines per centimeter. It's going to make everything change. It's not a cut and dry thing. Obviously, once you get it, though, it will be that color 90% of the time. Because again, not all materials come in the same way. Everybody says stainless steel, there's 304, there's 316, there's hardened stainless steel. So, I mean, there's different types of stainless steel. So, different metals that will still react differently. So, that's where it's always hard to tell people that's a given thing. So, uh, so the acrylic, yes, it is cool to engrave on acrylic. I gotta change my wording a little bit. I do a lot of my engravings on the F series, so the IR lasers. I do have the IR laser for the P3. Those lasers will give you a lot wider, let's say, engraving with the. So if we have time, maybe I'll play with I think I got some. Well, let's do a test. Yeah, stains in here. Need to have one for myself, anyways. Always take the plastic off. Most of these come with plastic on. Say that. Feeling it, but don't want them all. See, like this, I don't know what stainless steel this is. So we will find out real fast. What's the limit? Let's do like this. Oh my gosh, I'm stuck. All right. So, but yes, Kim, as I said, in acrylic, it does do white, but it doesn't do bright white. So I gotta be careful how I word that. But the other thing cool about using acrylic to do pictures or do puzzles is you can do different colors and do that kind of stuff too. So that's what I do like acrylic with stuff because you can add color without having to paint stuff and do that kind of stuff. So uh, it's an option. You know what? So we already put that in there. Let's run a test. Let's find out. I try. If not, I'll find out a way, or we'll do a test. One of the two. So let's do color and grade. I don't know why it's doing. It's weird that it's actually doing blue lights. I would have thought you would think it would do. I'm gonna do it. Change for everything back. I want to do 209% again. Let's do something different too. Let's do 250, 65. And that's where, like I said, when you do these color engraves, you do love acrylic. Not let it do this. Start to this. So the other thing you can do too with these is you can actually change, not do power, you can do passes and lines and frequency. You don't always have to do power and speed on these things, and that's where you can really again tweak it in. And I think there's a couple you can do different ones, but this is the one you can change the most on. So on this one, let's do 6,000. I mean, you can see this. Let me change the power down to 0.1. So you can even do that much of a different in variations in your power, which is crazy. So we'll go down to 50 speed. Let's go down to like 500. I'm a big 10 by 10 kind of guy, so 10 by 10. That's 62. 62. The crystals are fun to do as long as you get them set right. And I gotta find a way to do them a little bit faster though, because right now my big ones have been taking 2 hours to do those stupid things. It's the only thing that's bugging me. This. And then this is my preference, so don't take this as you have to do it this way. I just do this just because I like to take up less space. And then this one, to go small. too small. You can see it's going 88.9. And I mean, you can really, and this is where, like I said, you can dial those colors in with literally a point, whatever color scheme here. So don't think that it's just a cut and dry, easy thing to grab. Is what people, have a tendency to think this stuff is just, oh, I get to find the color, it's there, it's done. I might get lucky. I don't think I will. I feel like I need to be lower, possibly, but oh, grit. Auto measure. So, but again, I can answer any questions on any of the machines. I'm lucky enough to own all of them, but the M1 and the Parallel printer. But I can answer most questions about the Parallel printer. Also, uh, I am a demo host. That's why I do have what I do have. So if you guys need any questions or want one-on-one help, there's, I think, in the links you can touch base with me and do a class with me one-on-one. We can go deeper into some stuff. So I try to do this at least once a month. It depends on how because I still do craft shows. I have my own business, so it's not like this is all we do. That is really fast. Don't think I'm gonna get there. I'm pretty sure it takes long to do that. Feels like 22 seconds. I don't think I'm gonna get any color out of that. Yes, you can. So like right now, how this is running right now, all you go to minimize, and you can still work on another project. I have not talked about any patches for F1. What are you looking for the patches? What's your question? I love doing patches on my F1. I love my F1 Ultra. To me, it's probably the best one. Definitely no color, which then makes me go back to the blue light. So we do the exact same test on the blue light because the blue light's going to be color. Um, Need a good setting. Fiber laser. The fiber in the F1 Ultra is probably the better thing to use. I can tell you, I can look one up here for a second here. Let me run this other test real quick. So I'm just box selecting these and changing this to fiber or to blue light. You can do that, even though it says it's what it is. Actually, don't say it up there. So I'll have to do the rehold test. Just make sure you refresh your camera. And no, I have some. They're very fast. I love doing half patches. I think I have one sitting right here. I'll show you. So we just switched everything to blue light real quick. We're doing a color test. Stainless. I think it's stainless. It might be aluminum. I don't know. It's in my drawer. Yeah, that's way too fast. Definitely slower than 500 or more passes. Which laser are you using, Nicole? Because like I said, I feel the fiber laser actually does a lot better on leather. So than the blue light. Graphic plastic off the other side. That's fast. Be right back. Big stainless steel over here. I know that's stainless steel. Alrighty. New test. So, give me 1 second. Did 50 par. I want to say it's faster than that. I really do want to say you're fat. Need to be faster than that. Give me 2 seconds here. Start this test again. Test. So, want to do max of 500 to 10. Yes, you can run. I can run all my machines in here at once if I have to. Really? See, that wouldn't have thought the dark brown. I mean, dark brown's weird just because. Can I ask where you get your leather at from? Because I do feel that kind of makes a difference because it's true, it's weird if it's not true leatherette. I don't want to say that because sometimes it sounds like you might be going too far through, but we can look at it here. Okay. Do you have just the F1 Ultra? That's the only machine you own? Because I do, I like, I mean, I hate to be biased about this, but okay. I do like Lone Stars. I do like their adhesives. I like their patches. I mean, I buy their sheets and just cut patches out. I do it with my P2, so that's why I asked to get another one. So if you can cut the patch out, that's what I would recommend because I think it's more cost effective than I don't like the store-bought patches myself. So let's do 50 with that. Get room. Bunch. We'll get you a color. I'll get you blue. I do agree with that. I do agree with the that I did a patch, some patch material, and I was doing the same thing. I was blowing through with my F2. So it's weird. That's why I like my F1. I know the F2 is great for metal. That's pretty much the only thing I use it on mostly. I mean, yeah, mostly. So mostly get. Oh, interesting. It. Keep losing my mouse, guys. I haven't got 3 monitors. It's here somewhere. Found it. Okay. But no, I definitely agree with Hannah on that. I've had that issue. You take a picture of framing. Nobody knows you can't take a picture with your camera when you're framing. It doesn't work. I like that. Yeah. Like you said, I like the rawhide ones kind of. So, these are the ones I do. You can see my little picture up there. They're just some Ferris family tags, local farm company that I help do that stuff for. So check them out on YouTube, TikTok. You got it. And YouTube too, and Facebook. All right, start this, and then I'll get to that leather setting. It take a minute. It's only 10 minutes. Seems slow. Most. All right, let's see. P2. So the nice thing about the P2S is you get a lot more stuff you can mess with. So that's what I do love about the P2S. It's a good starter. I mean, I would say for very first person starting out, S1 would be the one I would tell you to start with if you just want to get your feet wet with lasers. P2 lets you do a lot more stuff because you can do all the acrylics, you can do glass. And then obviously I love my P3 up there just because it has the big bed. It's definitely nice to have the bigger bed. I mean, I wish it was bigger. There's always times you wish it was bigger than you do. And somebody would snip that. Oh, what am I looking for? New file. It's only I don't like the way the settings are for materials now. They used to be I could just pull up the setting and I can show you. So I know I'd have it saved. It's tied to certain things, so let's see. And again, your tag might be a little different than my tag, so that could be where the settings might vary a little bit. But I feel like I run a little faster than the 1,000. Let's say it's 25. No, I actually run it slower. This is what I run. So 60 power, 500 speed, 120, but the frequency makes a difference too. So again, if you're burning through, of course you firmware update. I do recommend doing those, just not while you're doing live. So it just, like I said, it's playing with it because obviously this one I did at 75 and I just didn't like it, so I probably bumped this one down to 60. So that's what I do mine at. So hope that answers your question, Nicole. Now I know like the black to silver, the ones that have the color underneath, those ones you have to run probably a lot slower or faster, I should say, because you're literally just burning off. I mean, this I'm getting down, obviously there's still stuff in there too. There's leather in there. So, well, this is what I do for mine, 70. It's this one, the 60 at 500. So you said you were at 50 to 1,000. You were burning at 50 at 1,000? You said you're gonna DM me later, but I'm curious. Yeah, I'll try that, see what that does. It's got to get you pretty close, you know. Maybe you don't look at that deep. I think they turn out pretty good. Yeah, that's really, I mean, but even that, you said you were doing, because that's 60 a thousand, it should be, or 50 a thousand, it should be not dark. So, I mean, if it's really dark, I'd make sure you're on fiber, not blue light, because the blue light will I think would burn through on this much. So what's nice about the fiber, it doesn't burn through the leather as hot as say the blue light. But still, some groups. Yeah. So not a problem. Like I said, we're gonna be on live next weekend. We're gonna do something with xTool. We're gonna go over all the new stuff on 1.6.6 because there's a lot of cool stuff out there. If you guys haven't updated yet, don't be scared of the updates. Please don't be scared of the updates. I know there's been a couple times, not gonna lie, it's been a couple times, but there's ways to revert it if you don't like it. That's why I always tell people to do it. But you got to make sure you update that. But obviously, you've seen that firmware thing pop up for me. That stuff has to be updated. It all works together. So you can't update the one and say no, don't update this. So make sure you're updating everything with your when you do these updates because it all talks to itself. And then I always tell people restart everything. Restart your computer, restart your laptop when you do an update. Just makes everything kind of reboot, reset, then things work better. So, but like I said, check out Ferris Cattle Company. You guys really new cattle stuff. I got some pretty cool content on, like I said, TikTok and Facebook. So, like it on YouTube also, I think. So, all right. Again, if you guys got questions, yeah, ask them. Just kind of popping through some stuff. We're doing a test on F2 for some color. I'm kind of doing a box for a live edge. Uh, so this is one that's we call it live edge. It's a what do you call it? A movable. It's a movable hinge, but it's a solid hinge. It's not something that you gotta like glue to the side. So this is why I like this hinge. Let's go. So what this is again, there's all kinds of box generators. There's a cool box generator in here. I do like it. I just like I said, there's a certain lid I wanted to be able to do. So that's why we're doing it this way. So this stuff should auto snap. If you guys don't know how to auto snap, that's what these lines are that pop up all the time. These blue lines. This is auto snapping. You gotta be careful. Like where I have right now, that's like center of the screen, so that can get you in trouble. Obviously, that's my part. Uh, so you just gotta be careful. Maybe someday they'll get the snap to work on. Because I can always say, grab these two, go a line, like a line to the left, side, right, and it will pull it over. Grab these, the line to the right, it'll snap it right in place. But as soon as I try to make sure it's up and down, it'll be off. I don't want to do this yet. This is where people gotta understand too when you're designing inside SolidWorks, sorry, wrong software. Inside Studio is there's some things you gotta do if you want to do certain things beforehand. Like I want to make sure I'm in the center of this on this next feature because there's another circle I'm gonna add. So I'm gonna do a cutout side here. So I'm gonna make this 5. But if I union this to this, it wouldn't let me snap this. So now I want to take these two, union these together, but I want to take this one, subtract it. And then I always just go to engrave. All right, that's exactly what I want. Okay, go back to score. So what you do is you make your hinge kind of like this. Obviously, I can put my either box joints or whatever in here, but this block now, I take another. So basically, you take this, actually release this because I want to copy. If you didn't know you can do that. So still all one piece. I just released it so I can grab a copy of it, put it back so it's exactly the same. Uh, and then what you do, so this hinge over here is 1/4 inch this way, 200 thousandths this way. Double check that. Under applications, you do have efficiency tools. I don't know why they're not popping up like they should be. They are. You have a measure tool. Again, we're gonna hang out probably for another 15 minutes. So again, if you guys got questions, you're more than welcome to hop on, ask anything you want. I'll try to answer it. For now, I'll do a test. Ask Canon. Thanks. 250 minute 200. So what I'm gonna do is do rectangle. Think about this. So should mean 250. Yeah. 15, 250 tall. Seems kind of tall. Not 2 inches. Two. So it doesn't like, oh, it's gonna do it now, isn't it? They must have fixed this. This is another thing in 1.6. Because the other ones you always had to do 0.2. I'm gonna do a little tidbit. If you guys don't like this, again, CAD background's my background. This is a feature that I used to love. You can do in CAD features. You want to do math inside the boxes. I can do +3. It does the math for you now inside there. So that'll be one of the tidbits we bring up next week. So 42. So basically, these. So this will get glued on to the end of this. And you put this inside there, put everything together, and then basically rotates on this. It's a cool setup. It's a cool hinge. Like I said, gives you a nice, cool, open down hinge. Again, didn't come up with myself. Hey, you got some color way down there, way down the spectrum. Found you some blue though. Let's see what it is though. Step their ways. This, 2, 6 over. 1, 2, 3, 6. It's like about 32 speed. Yeah, I'll put it in there so you can see it. There's a couple blues in there actually, a couple shades of blue. It's the only color I got to show up was blue. Honestly. Again, there's more tweaking to get you the other colors, but they're there. Refresh. So we got blue, blue. Want that one. So we have 5 or 6 over. 2, 4, 5, 6. So like that, it's 32.2 by 45 or 35.7 by 80. That's those two shades right there. So really, I would say probably, I mean, obviously you might get some more in there, but we really got to tighten it down. So really, it's gonna be tighter than 200. Again, we can up the power. That might give us some brighter colors, but hopefully, Hannah, you're still on. You can see this, so you can get your color. Hopefully, get you close. If you get your blues, that should get you. You know, again, I'm sitting there doing the count, so do the quick math there. But again, for anybody that's hopping on, if you got questions, probably gonna be on here about 15 more minutes, but I usually try to do about an hour and a half when I do these lives. So, like I said, it's just a get on here, chit chat. Sometimes I'll do a project. Sometimes it's just give me a reason not to work on something that I should be working on. So, but we just did a test, color test. We got some blues, obviously, and it's a small window. I mean, this is where it looks at in the F2 Ultra is what we're using. Um, as you can see, your power speed here, we can actually break it down into points. It was 25.1, 20, that those little, and that's where you can break it down into such small details, get different colors. I mean, I can see some pinks kind of getting in there. But us right now it's just blues, but we're real low on power. So I feel like if we go up a little hotter power, we'll still stay in that 200 to 100 realm. It might jump up a little bit more. So, and just like I said, we gotta you just tighten it up, and that's will start giving you all those colors because it doesn't take a big window jump to go from the crazy that's that blue to that blue is cool difference, but to get to like your reds and your yellows and your oranges, it's usually a small window. So not a problem. Like I said, I like doing these things. I like helping people out. Like I said, we all started somewhere. So there's a few people online that I checked out when I started doing this stuff, and nobody really did it live. I can't say that. There's a group, Laser Everything was a good group to got me into lasers. I definitely recommend them if you're getting into more detailed stuff, different lasers. The xTool, they have a lot of good information. Like I said, they got me hooked in what I want to do and how I want to do this stuff, and I love the information they put out. I know they do a lot of their stuff on Tuesday nights, so I stay away from Tuesdays. I always do Thursdays. Again, we'll do another live next Thursday. I should have at least a giveaway, I hope. So we'll see. If not, I'll give something away. But be one of those things. But it should be posting some stuff here a little sometime next week. So yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. We can go over all kinds of different things. Uh, and I know I've done some. I love my F series. Like I said, that every laser has their place, and that's what, like I said, people want to know what kind of laser to get and all that good stuff. To me, starting out, I would start with like an S1 or a P2S. That's where I not that I don't like the M1. I just when you try to do too many things at once, it's not my go-to. I think to get your feet wet with a laser and just work on one thing and only the laser module, that's where I think the S1 is probably a better machine in that sense. It gives you a little bit bigger working area. It lets you do a lot longer stuff. You get the conveyor. So same thing with the other P2s. Now I can do all the acrylics and I can do some glass. And then, for a budget on a series, I like the F1 Ultra, which is the one all at the end. The F2, the little guy, you know, he's hanging out here on the board right now because I'll just use him. But this little guy, great for craft shows. It really is. So it's they all have their place one way or another. I do recommend having a gantry laser and one of these, either F1, F1 Ultra, FUV. Again, if tried to tell somebody to get a F series, I'd probably lean everybody to the F2 Ultra UV, just because again, it covers a lot of stuff you can do at once. So, because I had like your deep metal engravings, can I still do metal jewelry all day long? I've done a bunch of the stuff with this. I don't need fingerprints. I've done some fingerprint things for a couple customers. It's just it does take a little longer, obviously, than say the fiber laser back there, but they'll have their place. So, like I said, I've done a couple different lives different ways. So this was just more of a Q&A and hopping on and hanging out and waiting for the storm to roll through my neighborhood. Never really did. I think it missed me. So, but yeah, I mean, again, there's all kinds of cool features in this. If you're not into this, if you haven't, being a newbie, like I said, like my page, there's all kinds of stuff. I'm gonna try to do more content. I really am. So, and that's why we do these things. I try to do a lot more of these, and like I said, I'm going to try to do. I don't like editing videos. That's why I like doing lives. I'm not that I'm terrible at editing videos. I just even my lives. I know people are like, well, why don't you go back and put stuff on there? I'm like, I don't have time, unfortunately. I do the demo host stuff. I do my laser business. I still have a day job, so I'm a busy guy. So something's gonna give sooner or later. I just don't know what yet. But yeah, and I like doing it all. And I like doing lives. I do like doing these. I like doing stuff for people. And I can do like onesies. I can do like reels and stuff like that. Again, quick, down, dirty. Done a lot of those for people. I'm still learning how to put reels on. While doing it live, reel. So, but yeah, like I said, we'll do this again next week. There'll be more of a go over the software, all the new features in 1.6. Don't be scared of 1.6. It's definitely stuff people have been asking. Uh, it's if you haven't looked into it, it's there's a lot of text. I'm gonna do a little teaser. There's a lot of text features. You know, People have asked to be able to warp text. We can warp text now. So you got all kinds of different ways to do it. Sometimes they get a little funky, I'm not gonna lie. So photo, I'm gonna tell you now, Kim, on photos on the P series, do not run your lines per centimeter above 100. Honestly, you should probably be in your 80s, 80 to 100. It'll help your photos tremendously. That's all I got to say. Trust me. Don't go by your photo that the preview shows because it doesn't do it right. Just have a gut feeling. I don't know my settings in my P2 because I haven't done some photos in those. I got other machines I've been doing photos on, so I don't do a lot of them in there. But I know even my S1, I used to do a lot of my photos in my S1 just because of the dot size. But usually between 80 and 100 help a lot more than going higher because it's not DPI. It's not adding more dots helps in that sense. You really need to reduce the dots because the problem is you're putting too many dots close together. So yeah, so no, not on your P2. An F series, yes, you can get in that 280, 300 range. On the P2 and an S1, you need to be honestly in that 100 to 80. You still need to have a nice high quality photo. So don't your photo wants to be 300 DPI, but your lines per centimeter is not DPI. So that will help you out. I'm telling you, it'll make it a lot crisper, cleaner photo. Run down into that lower 80, 80, 90. Yes, that's why, because you're running 280. Run your same settings. What are you running for your settings? Curiosity, Kim. Because I mean, I want to say on a photo, I'm probably running 30 power, 30 to 40. Right, 30. 230. Harvest 54. 254 is your lines per centimeter. 30 power. There's 254 your speed. Because again, I'm gonna tell you right now, anything over 270, you're not helping anything. It's not running any faster. 270 is kind of its 270 to 300 is top end. You know, it can run at 600 millimeters a second. Yeah, so I mean that's not terrible. And if you're still burning at that, so yeah, I'll turn your lines per centimeter down, and even just try those. Like I said, the 300 to I would say 250 to 275 in your speed, but turn your lines down to like 80 and see what you get. You too, Hannah. Hopefully, post some pictures of whatever you're trying to get your blue color for. I'd like to see what people, you know, you need to put in the chat here later on. It'll go up on YouTube here when we get done. So and again, if you guys, all the people that hopped on, if you like the channel, like I said, we're gonna try to do some more of these things. I know I say this every time, and then I get life involved and weekends and things get busy and trying to do more things. But I'm gonna definitely try to do these at least for sure alive once a month. I'm gonna try posting more often, just some content. You know, I like to do the trips and tips and all that good stuff and help people out and learn things and all that stuff. So I hope everybody has a good night. Happy Easter. We will see you all next week. I'm out. Eventually. Stop sharing. Stop.